her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Ah. Alright, so white stuff we could use certain tools for.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
She extends her hand in greeting.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbor. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Joyce L., what's the L stand for?
Peyton, my maiden name.
Her bony hand dangles from the sleeve of her oversized raincoat. What gave us away?
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
Relax. She meant it in jest.
God, before you start, I knew exactly all the people you'd end up talking to. You know this game too well. Don't shake her hand.
I'm glad to see you here.
The woman and the lieutenant exchange a brief handshake.
She is unfazed by your rudeness, probably chalking it up to local custom.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Damn, Kim, you're so nice.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. This is a tactic.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You seem rich. Can I have some money?
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
Wait, why not?
Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What lustrous hair.
A well-kempt, yet tastefully short bob of dark hair. Despite the first hints of grey, she's elected to keep it au naturel, shaped into a permanent wave, late 40s style, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities. These are the kind eyes of the rich man that seem to say everything is possible, within reason.
Yeah, so?
Now look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are lakes. A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too...
I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed to shake this leech for some dough. As I should be, for even considering that this woman, and I'm a man, this is a woman, and I'm a man. I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed to shake this leech for some dough.
You think your little communism protects you from this feeling? No. The more demeaning it is to grovel at her feet.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
Internal voices, goddammit, I need money! 58% chance to get money. Or at least to ask for it and have her say no. We're doing it!
I am sorry.
Oh, goddamn
it just doesn't come out of your mouth. What does is...
Oh no.
Surprisingly eloquent, really. The last one, not the first three. Those are ape speak.
Money. I am the scum of the earth.
Excuse me? I didn't hear you.
Her voice is kind, a little hoarse from the wind.
What you meant to say was...
Son of a bitch. What can you tell me about this lynching?
Quite a few things, I'm afraid.
She falls silent for a moment, contemplating something.
The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Fuck! You needed that. I needed that money. You're not wrong. All right, we got to level up. So far, we got a point in Inland Empire, which is our primary. We have some suggestion going on. We put a point into Shivers because we have the upgraded possibility of Shivers. I'm open to suggestions here. If we put a point into Volition, we can try again with money. Hold yourself together. Keep your morale up. What other options here? So Volition gives us a chance at asking for money again. Then it does seem useful. Might want to wait to see what you need to trick her about that badge number. Just try that one again when you fail. You raised a compelling argument.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Shivers is a good one, yeah. Remember when my partner told you I'd recently suffered from an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to that.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
It's possible after a night of heavy drinking I lost all memory of my life and the world. I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything. This world, this city. Nothing. Yes. I could have eaten for all I know.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
Yeah, I don't care about actual detective work. I'm here for the fun results.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
You can tell by the flashlight.
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
The shape in the bottom right corner does not remind me of logic or visual calculus. You talking about this shape? You son of a bitch. Bottom left, Chris also doesn't remind me of logic or visual calculus. 83% chance? Yeah.
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
Surely there's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement credentials.
I will be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Like what?
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason. The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
How dare you?
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment, madame.
Hey. Psst.
Who, me?
Yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to start building communism again.
How come there's word on the street?
You keep saying things like, down with the bourgeoisie, eat the rich, sodomize the landowners, impale all people who have more than 25 real in their pockets, literally murder all human beings, regardless of their political beliefs. That kind of stuff.
Oh, right, that does sound like me.
Funky style. Very funky. So tell me, do you have any questions before we fire up the big communism builder? Or do we get right down to it?
Roll up your sleeves and start building communism.
Oh yeah. Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Roll up your sleeves even further and breathe in the pristine air. Wait, what? Firing squads? You didn't say anything about those.
Too late to back out now. You can't make an omelette without breaking a few million eggs.
Oh, baby. Mazovian social economics. People think communism was some crazy idea that had come up 40 years ago. A fever that shook the world, never to be returned again. They were right, until he woke up today. A spiritual corpse responds only to the call of Commodore Red, prostitutes, and Krasmazov. For him, communism is still a thing. He will single-handedly raise the commune of O2 from the oceanic trench where he's been resting. Covered in ghosts and seaweed, he is the big communism builder. Come, witness this attempt to rebuild communism in the year 51. I'll internalize this. I once made an omelet with only 999,999 eggs. Oh my god. What's the solution? -2 to visual calculus. Goodbye, visual calculus. We were just talking about how we don't even want it anyway. Good lord. Thank you, thank you. Oh my god. This game is so funny. Alright, we'll choose an upgrade soon, but let's talk to Kim. The lieutenant's voice is hushed. How did you hope it would go, Kim?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and you know, not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Really? I thought it was going so well.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
That doesn't sound right.
Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
The company must have more ears on the ground. She could have known about my condition. What do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking? We could just, you know, find my badge. I'm sorry for putting us in this situation. I'll handle it.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
The company must have had more ears on the ground.
I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all.
Do you think we shouldn't investigate the drug trafficking?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
Let's get back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Hey, can I have some money?
Voila. You'll do it.
Can I have some money, ma'am?
Of course. How much do you need?
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
I need 130 real.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She reaches into her raincoat and pulls out a zip bag. In it you see paper notes arranged like black gills. Help me, I'm poor. I need money to continue living.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you.
The paper
is cold.
is cold.
and oily
Wait.
to the
We
touch.
did it! We can pay off our fucking debt.
Whoa, whoa. Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Toot toot. Train to Moneytown.
Nay, 'twould be dishonorable, and mine honors my life. Hot dog! Have some more money.
This may seem like odd behavior for a police officer, ma'am, but it's a perfectly common side effect of the
He squints at you.
unusual medical episode.
It's all right, Lieutenant. I really did bring as little cash with me as possible to avoid attention. So here you are. The last bit of filthy lucre I can share.
Oh, baby.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
You bribed me, all right. I'm your little peon now. I'm an honorable policeman, one of the few good men in Revachol. Funny that you're worried about that and not your ruthless exploitation of the entire human race. I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept. You were just helping me out. Oh my god. I'm your little peon now, lady.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
You seem smart. I need someone to give me the lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
She pulls her hood closer around her neck.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
Alright, this game's amazing. I'm conducting a personal investigation of the world I find myself in. It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality. No time to explain, just give me the lowdown. It's related to that medical episode.
Ah, yes, the episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. Whatever I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Begin with the first ones. Where are
We're
we?
in Martinez.
Baby!
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is Martinez?
Martinez
Is
a
it like
district
mayonnaise?
of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Cat Jam Rock. Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory. Beyond patriotism. A fact.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest.
Revachol is 8%, give or take.
By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people. In the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is about
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Look to the sea.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time.
If you recall the map examination, it said there were only 800,000 people in the world. It's a small number of people in this world.
There is no recognition. Only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Say nothing. Observe the large body of water swelling, cold.
She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly.
Oh, None of them is familiar. They seem real, but something's wrong. I feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. Truven, the Apricot Company, World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching out for them. Scratch at the corners, see if they peel loose. Feels like the most important of all the thoughts. The one you truly must complete. Temporary research bonus, none. We're 9% into this bad boy. We're gonna let communism keep going, but we're finally onto a new one. They seem both good.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Can I internalize two, or do I have to do one at a time? Oh, we can do two. Oh, nice.
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am, Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But won't I be lazy if I don't do it all now?
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Some thoughts aren't good. Other thoughts are very mixed. They're thoughts, after all. It looks like I could have both going. Like, we have both currently internalized. Remaining time, remaining time. Yeah, it looks like both of these are going.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What is? Think of something close to you. What is this acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
Encephalopathy is a term for any disease of the brain that alters brain functions. How interesting.
In case he goes down later, souring the entire...
I've got the brainworms. I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
What causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Oh, it's probably from surgery then.
That seems unlikely.
Alright, let's throw one very unlikely roll at her and then we'll be on our way.
It remains a mystery what you mean by this something close. This isn't about you. It's about reality.
Ah, fuck it, get both of these failures out of the way.
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists. You just can't word the question yet. You have to complete the jamais vu thought first.
What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
No, I meant what is this place here? Am I really that awkward?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot or two.
She looks around. What is Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
And who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate.
Did you just say
before the
primo
cannons knocked
unironically?
4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, a young girl in odd clothing gives Joyce the evil eye, a red paintbrush held in her throat.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the
The
skull.
girl in the old lady rags.
Yes.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infra culture.
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd.
Are we now?
The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
Okay, now explain the same thing, but do it child.
Young people who dye their hair funny colors and wear old people's clothes are stupid, and their little rebellion is self-defeating. All right, what next?
She paused to take a long, leisurely sip of tea.
Suddenly, you're not so sure you're part of the supraculture.
I think I may be part of an infraculture.
And what would that be?
Gup. Disco.
I can see that, yes. I dabbled in those dark arts myself, not so long ago. I assure you, it was a thoroughly supracultural phenomenon.
Best choice, nice.
All permeating. Downright mandatory. Nothing infra about disco, baby.
Your disco?
Those days are long behind me. And even in the early 30s, I would say I was more of a new girl. Disco was a minor, but still enjoyable facet of the whole thing for me.
The new?
The new. A cultural era. And the name of the decade it ravished, the 30s. It came out of post-revolutionary Revachol. It was ultra-liberal. It involved lots of partying, as you might imagine, and champagne-colored everything. By the looks of it, that would have been when you came of age. Now.
She raised her eyebrows at you. Champagne, that doesn't sound like anything I'd be into. I'm straight edge. Sounds fun. Can't remember a single thing.
Wasn't it Guillaume Le Million who said, if you can remember the new, you weren't there?
For some reason, your mind is a veritable repository of Guillaume Le Million lyrics, trivia, and B-sides. But the time to explore this is when you're
Facing a mirror. Oh, okay,
right
yeah.
now, it would derail the reality lowdown.
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
You're on a boat.
Why, yes I am.
She looks under the deck under her feet. Green and white sails flutter overhead. Does she have a name?
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word "it" feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why?
She taps on the side of the boat. It makes a hollow sound.
Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about Dolores?
Why Dolores?
After her innocence, Dolores Day.
I'm not really big on moralist symbols. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you.
How do you like it?
My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
You're the worst.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Do you have a license for this boat? Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
I thought we were on Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Ah, Caillou. I know that show. Still haven't seen anyone else sell a boat around here.
I haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not a toy.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
You need to make this lady admit she's only riding around on this boat because she's rich.
Yes, I do.
You have the guns and the ammo. Take this Clausen fiend down.
Let's talk about the economics of this boat you're on.
Oh my, the E word. You mean to say that it's a symbol of conspicuous consumption? That I'm a member of the ruling class?
No, it's a symbol of our subjugation to foreign capital. That kind of capital.
Detective, may I remind you that Mrs. Messier is a professional negotiator?
He doesn't look like he thinks you'll best her in single combat.
Then what does that say? Does it say docking reserved for residents of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A? 33A? This old proletarian haunt here? As I said, plenty of people drive boats, of all social strata.
Here we go, we could do it.
She takes a sip.
It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Something is about to happen. In here.
Of course.
Nothing happens for quite a while.
They will come from my head, the arguments.
As they do.
The thoughts happen inside his brain.
Wave your hand next to your head. It will help.
It doesn't.
My, it's as if there's a tiny spinner on the side of his head and he's reeling thoughts out.
Except he isn't.
The lieutenant is satisfied with where this is going.
A thought's going to come out of my head and into my mouth, and I will say it.
Of course. Lieutenant, I truly don't understand what is happening here.
I told you his methods are unconventional.
I swear to God, I'm usually sharp. I don't know what's happening. Why am I not killing it?
Your marbles on glass, dear. Don't worry.
What were we talking about anyway?
It was quite a while ago, but I think, yes, we were discussing my fast, large, ineluctably middle-class boat.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
Pleasure craft, you say?
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiles. Her nonchalance might be related to something called the Wayfarer Act, a law that says she doesn't need a license. Sly Fox, you're not aggressive enough to harass her further on this.
I think I have a handle on this boat thing.
Good.
What can you tell me about this strike?
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I want to hear about these trade secrets?
First, you'd have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
Wouldn't want to disturb an octopus. Better let it be.
I am glad you see it that way. To repeal the act would mean repealing the coalition government. The one that leases you the right
Ineluctably,
to
what
police
a
West Revachol.
word.
You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, in other words.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike.
What's your role in this precisely?
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbor. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
What? Tell us more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now.
How were the talks going before the lynching?
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially
If you've
frozen
done your
then.
job, says
I
Q.
prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
He looks at his notes.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Ludicrous, even. It's meant.
Tell me about this union boss, Mr. Clare.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first.
Really?
Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Everett's a hero of the workers' movement.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar.
Whoa, this is getting out of hand. There are 2 of them now.
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny
There
little
are 2 of them.
switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
And what about the union itself outside the Brothers
The
Clare?
Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The Brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
She hesitates, looking for the right expression. It is wild how much audio they've recorded for this game. Like, I can't think of another game that has this much spoken dialogue in it.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother.
She turns to you.
And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
Divinity. I don't know how much Divinity has. Does it all have spoken dialogue like this one? A giant leech sucking the life out of Revicol, an effective advocate for the rights of local working men. Basically a socialist mob.
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated
Sounds nice.
with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
It's an incredibly impressive amount of voice lines. One more thing. You said something happened in the elections.
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
Some kind of extortion, probably.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
What happened to this Gaumont?
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it?
She pauses to compose herself.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Okay then.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
And what are their demands?
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes, every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Seems like they have no idea about business.
In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board.
What does that even mean?
It's quite simple, you see. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about what? About anything, really, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
That sounds like nothing would ever get done.
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
The king is dead. Long live the workers.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
And what are you going to do about it?
I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous
Oh yeah, that's what we're
situation
doing
if there
here.
ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
We got her to tell us something. We did it. That's all I need here. Let's change the topic.
Of course. How else can I help?
Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics.
Psychedelics,
Honestly,
you say?
It might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter.
Jamrock, got it.
North of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport.
We gotta
the
get our hands on some
ingredients for a cut.
psychedelics. And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Am I gonna need bolt cutters for this one?
Unlikely, officer. I'm talking about the lorries. Once the ingredients reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they may be vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
She gives you a knowing look.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
I've made up my mind about the smuggling investigation.
Yes?
We will take this case, probe the drivers, see what it yields.
Excellent.
Just takes a long
According to
sip
my
of tea.
reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something.
I gotta get me some of these
It may
drugs.
come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Thank you, that's all. Actually, you know what? Tell me about Wild
What
Pines.
we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
So what do they do?
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo tribes remain.
Can you ditch Kim for 5 minutes to score some gack? I don't want gack, I want psychedelics, baby. Went to the library today and asked where I could find books on greases, oils, and lubricants. The librarian suggested I try the non-friction section. You're in good company, it seems.
Why, thank you.
She has not registered the real meaning of the remark. How much money does Wild Pines have?
I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
The money I owe is so much less than that.
Yes, past a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks. A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility.
Where does Wild Pines get all these
They
billions?
started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain.
Now, you pronounced that really well, but I was really reading that as Lo Manthang, which is a pretty good name.
Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
It probably helps to start out with a royal monopoly.
You know more than you let on. Certainly it helped, but most of the original Indo tribes have failed or been absorbed. To survive, Wild Pines had to grow and adapt. No suzerain did that.
And what does such a huge system want with a place like this? It's a trash heap.
You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
Curiosity, hello there. Thank you very much for that raid. Welcome, raiders. I'm Chris here at Shake the Box. We play all kinds of weird stuff. This is my first playthrough of Disco Elysium, and this game is phenomenal, blowing me away. Someone give... Oh, there's a shout-out. You were playing software and game development. Oh, tell me more, Curiosity. Tell me more. What are you working on? 8% of all cargo in the world? That's quite the endeavor indeed. No. You don't keep it moving. The workers do. The company's nothing without them.
We built this district.
She says calmly.
There it is. She owns up to it.
Making a roguelite. Okay. What kind of roguelite? Earlier we were playing Rift Wizard, which is one of my favorite roguelikes. I take it this is a real-time action-y kind of game if you're going to roguelite?
All the best parts of it. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, with its bastions. The plazas Meteor and Mosaic. Even some of the old street lamps have been put back thanks to the investments from the WP.
She points behind you where the seawall rises. You call it a culinary dice builder. Ooh. Now I definitely want to know more. I love cooking, and I do enjoy dice building games. It's Yahtzee meets Papa Burgia with roguelite elements. Interesting.
Before Martinez was swallowed by the industrial harbour, even before it was part of Revachol, long before Terminal B was erected here, the Pines built it as a resort for its Revacholian employees.
Burgeria.
A company getaway.
Remember, I
For a
always
weekend
pronounce it
or a summer
correctly
holiday.
the first time.
Then came the revolution. But that's another matter. I'm here to make sure the Pines can fulfill their responsibilities to the place they built.
Might be the game for me. I mean, I do love cooking. You're trying to keep it authentic. Ooh.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
Thank you, that's all for now.
Of course, Detective. Take care.
I can't believe we got $130 out of her. We could live we could stay inside a building. We're not gonna be homeless. Even though we are Hobo Cop. Interesting. So we could use a tool. Yeah, we got $131 out of it. We can use tools to open these white ones. If it doesn't tell me how, does it mean I don't have the tool? Like, if I were to go in here and equip bolt cutters, for instance. My god! I feel like I have to backtrack for certain things now. +1 suggestion, -1 half-light. Take... That should not have worked. How did that work? Because I am very persuasive, thank you very much. Even though we constantly harassed her about being the ruling class. Alright, so we just got a new jacket here. +1 suggestion, -1 half-light. Suggestion's a nice one. It's a coat, which means it's gonna take away our +1 conceptualization. It's true. They're not expressly homeless. Or attract to it initially. Yeah, I don't trust her. But that's fine. Interesting, interesting, interesting. +1 conceptualization. We could lose some half-light in favor of getting more suggestion. I do like suggestion. But, like, we're wearing clothes right now that don't lose us points. You're a big fan of Rift Wizard as well. Really good game. Just with creative builds were a bit more viable. Creative builds can be hard, but that's kind of the fun, I think, for creative builds. We enjoy creative builds here as well. Today we did the... Shit, what was it called? My brain's shutting down. What was the challenge run we did today? Wait a minute, did you talk to her just like that? Yes, I did. Danger Brigade. We did the Danger Brigade challenge run, and we leaned on a lot of slime form, which is a fun spell. God, I love that game. Love Rift Wizard. But yeah, some of the more wacky builds are not quite as viable as I would like, but it's just part of the fun. They're extra challenging. We gotta get a scarf. Yeah, we need to get a neck item. You like doing limited spellbook? Limited spellbook's a really nice way to just play the game. I do enjoy that. Cheating. We didn't cheat, but I did have the most absurdly lucky run I've ever had of Rift Wizard. We had 4 Drought of Memories in this run, 3 Disintegration Shrines. It was outrageous. I've never in my life seen such an overpowered run of Rift Wizard. As much as I enjoy changing clothes, I feel... Oh, that is a very... Yeah, the RNG cheated for me. That's a very good-looking coat. But stat-wise, this jacket's just better. Like, we get a good thing with no bad things. Suggestion. Aye, Captain. -1 half-life. Official pose. I think I'm gonna keep this one up. We don't lose anything by wearing it. Naval code's dope. It does look really good. I don't want to lose any half-light, and I like suggestion. Ah, I'm always so bad at these. You know what? It does look good. I'll put it on. Mostly because it's a new piece of clothing, and wearing new things is good. Can we try again at the stupid wall?
Just an ordinary wall.
Okay, try again. 17%.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Why? It's a wall. An ordinary wall.
Oh, I'm gonna get you, wall.
Why must we stop to look at this wall every time we pass by? We have business to attend to.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah? I could take a point of conceptualization. And then I could try again. You don't understand, Kim. This wall is important. From close to the start until about 4 hours in, had a couple of failed starts at the beginning. Oh yeah, what time in the run? I would probably jump in... What was it, like maybe just a half an hour? 45 minutes at the most? We had a few losing runs when we were trying to get our build going, but eventually we got the build going and the game just kept on giving me so many Drought of Memories and so many Disintegration Shrines. It was so, like, we just stood there and, like, everything was just dying to Disintegration. It was great. I'm tempted to put a point in just so we could try the wall again. But there's a lot of other fun stuff. Shivers is good because it tries to make me take my pants off sometimes, and that's always funny. Screw it, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put it to conceptualization exclusively to try this wall again.
Just an ordinary wall.
28%. It's gonna happen, Kim!
Because you see it. Finally. This wall is sublime. Look at it. The shadows. The colors.
Let the conceptual joy flow into your pupils and blossom in the thoughts in your brain.
All the other walls on all the other houses must make a pilgrimage in adoration of this, the uncontested pinnacle of wallcraft, color peeled from the very face of God.
More!
O wall father.
Kim! I must paint this wall, add even more beauty to it.
Huh? He sounds tired of it all. Cindy the Skull has all the necessary materials. Talk to her.
First, I know you're tired, Kim, but take another look at this wall. Draw nourishment from its beauty.
Sure.
Lieutenant looks up at the wall reluctantly, then back at you. I must talk to Cindy, get the necessary materials from her.
If you must.
That's right, Kim. Give in to the goodness. Come, Kim. Who said earlier? True Axiom was saying that in all of his playthroughs of this game, he's never seen that wall be a successful check. That's because he didn't have me there at the time. Cindy, I need your paint.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
Cindy, I need some paint, and your brush, too.
What for?
I'm doing renovation. It's boring, but necessary. For my motor carriage, we're going undercover. The apocalypse is coming, and I need to warn people. It's art. It's for art, okay?
Well, if it's for art... But what kind of art are we talking about?
Everything is sad and shit, and we need art to make it okay. Just give me the brush.
Sounds like you're just about to live out your self-pity, not make a statement. I can't have shit art on my conscience.
You'll see. You'll all see. And tremble.
Yeah, not gonna hold my breath, Piggy. You look like you'd suck. Everything, really.
God damn it. Conceptualization, no! I gotta change clothes. I could wear clothing with better conceptualization. +1 conceptualization. +1 conceptualization. We're ready.
Hello again, officers. Have you come
8%.
to admire my mural?
They do.
Son of a
say the
bitch!
painter always paints his own portrait.
I'm going to paint a self-portrait, but sort of, you know, from the inside to show people what it's like.
That's pretty fucked up. Even for you, Piggo.
Stop belittling me, Cindy.
Stop quivering like jello. Then you won't get fucked.
What if I had some interpretive dance?
I think everyone would rather you didn't.
Okay, I won't do that then, but please, just give me the brush and some paint. I need to do some art.
You're a real sad sack. You know that? Go ahead then. Art it up. Just try not to hurt yourself. And no self-portrait.
Thanks, Cindy.
Oh, but I'm all out of fuel oil.
You know what you should be able to find in your government-issued vehicle? Red-dyed heavy fuel oil.
Right on. No way I'm settling for paint if even children are painting with fuel oil.
That beautiful wall deserves nothing less.
Kim, my friend, would you be willing to sacrifice some of your fuel oil for art?
My fuel oil is for my kinema. Use your own fuel if you are unable to contain your artistic impulses, but please, leave my kinema out of it.
God, that man loves his car. Is that bed in the coal room yours?
Ooh, Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
Really, you're a miner?
Yes. I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens.
Don't you have a real home?
Does anyone in a city like this?
It's not the nicest place, but I guess it'll have to do.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all.
The inspiration will come to her once hell is set loose on the streets. It's too calm right now.
Guess +1 to that check I just did, son of a bitch. Cool, I have other questions.
Shoot, Piggy. It's
Catch.
what you do, isn't it?
Oh, nice. Catch you later, Cindy. Oh, yeah, we got it. Got the paintbrush. Now we just gotta get ourselves some more oil. Alright, let's put drama back on. Composure, what am I wearing? Indirect modes of taxation, I forgot about that one. Electrochemistry, saver fair. What are my pants doing? Electrochemistry, reaction speed. Yellow pants. Alright, there we go. Oh, this game is so funny. Keep asking Joyce questions about reality. Return later. Should be. You know what? There was like one question left for reality. I could finish this one just by running over there. The jam mystery. Come, Kim. There's art afoot. Just gonna finish that quest by asking her one more question about reality. While I wave my weird little plastic fag around.
You're back. Good.
What questions about reality?
More lessons in basic reality?
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big
The
time?
revolution.
Haha! And what is this revolution I keep hearing so much about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
I feel like if you're going to be called the ultra-liberals, you have to get, like, a mech suit of some kind. That way it counts as being ultra. Otherwise, it just seems like a waste of ultra.
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
I would thank you to remember I have amnesia.
She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Mecha-che.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
How dare you call me that?
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not.
An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
And what are you?
What I am not is a basic term of reality.
She smiles.
There may be a way to get her speaking about herself at some later juncture. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. She will, in time.
What is...
A strange coldness comes over you as you look at the world. The waves sway the sloop slowly. That's all. The doubt is fully formed in your head. The alien feeling persists. You just can't word the question yet. You have to complete the jamais vu thought first.
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little...
Did that do it? Did we finish it? Damn it.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we'll ask her again later. Let's blow this popsicle stand, Kim. My detective senses are tinkling. Where's my car, Kim? I'd like to take oil out of it.